everybody, this is Maria D with the Wreath Meshine, coming to you today with a new wreath tutorial. I will also be introducing a new product that is now on the market that will help you protect your wreath investment. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Hello everybody, this is Maria with the Wreath Meshine. I'm coming to you today with a new tutorial. And today it's gonna be a special tutorial, because I'm actually going to show you how to create a wreath that will go with my new invention called the Wreath Lock. So if you didn't already know, the Wreath Lock is essentially the world's first anti-theft wreath hook. It is steel, it is made to last, and it is currently, at the moment, I'm saying at the moment because it's in development for other things to come, but right now this is made to go with wire-framed wreaths. Okay, so what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna construct a wreath and show you how to make one that will go and sit on the wreath lock, so that everything, your focal points, your bows, your signs, whatever, will show up properly. And I'm going to show you from the beginning, because I have another tutorial out there that shows you how to make a wreath from scratch using my method that I created using one roll of mesh. But I'm going to do it from scratch, I mean down to the skeleton, so that I can show you from step one, because I skipped a little bit in the other video, so I want to show you from step one. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Please excuse the background, because I do have my Christian music station going, because that's what I do when I'm in my craft room. So it just calms me down a little bit. So like I said, I'm going to show you in steps. Feel free to fast forward if you can't watch the whole thing, but I know some people like repetition and muscle memory, so we're just gonna go from there. So in the end, I'll show you how everything works together, and I'll also let you know about a few other developments going on. So let's go ahead and get started. So you're gonna need, I'm gonna do a simple wreath. This is just gonna be like some Sam's Club Costco ribbon, some pipe cleaners, a wire frame, some hot glue. If you want a bow, I pre-made the bow to save time. Sorry y'all, but there's other tutorials for the bows online at the Wreath Meshine on YouTube. So if you needed to replay that and watch it to familiarize yourself with the bow that I've made today, you can do that. And then I just cut like 6 sets of 2 pieces of ribbon. So I'm making this very simple, because the main premise of this is to show you how it works with the wreath lock. And the thing is, if you're gonna use the wreath lock yourself and you make wreaths, or you're gonna make them for people, the thing is you want to suggest the wreath lock to them, because it will protect their wreaths from theft, falling off, or blowing off of their doors. Like I said, this is the first anti-theft wreath hook that's ever been created. You know, wreaths have been around like 2,000 years. So, you know, just my suggestion, I would highly advise using the wreath lock as opposed to a regular J hook, because honestly, I would hate for someone to invest in a nice wreath and it gets stolen, because wreaths are eye candy on our doors. We don't want to just leave them there and walk away and just hope and pray that they stay. So that's why I created this product, because I want to help people keep their wreaths on their doors and out of thieves' hands. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to show you how to, for those who create wreaths, I'm going to show you how to make a wreath that goes on and with the wreath lock. And then we just go from there. So if you have any questions about the wreath lock, or you're interested in selling them wholesale, or maybe even licensing the product, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me. You know, the wreathmeshine.com is my site. So there's a contact page on there if you want to reach out. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and get started. And I'm going to show you from scratch how to do my method. So when we do a wreath specifically for the wreath lock, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put pipe cleaners through the crossbars section first, okay? And what I do is put them through. My cord is a little short on my glue gun. Please excuse my glue gun. I've had it for a long time and it's looking mighty funkety right now, but serves its purpose, right? Yeah, it just needs a longer cord. So I go on each of the 6 crossbars, and these crossbars are very critical when you're using the wreath lock, because that is what anchors the wreath into the hook itself. And at the end I will show you how to use it with the wreath when we're done. So stick with me because it will be worth it. But you know, I just feel very blessed to be able to bring the wreath lock to the market, because I just cringe knowing that in the world someone can't even put a wreath on their door and not have to worry about it being stolen along with blowing off or falling off. Because if that thing falls off and rolls down the road, I don't have a lot of faith that people are going to actually give it back to you. And regular J-hooks just don't cut it, y'all. Like, at this point, I suggest just totally putting them in the trash. Because J-hooks, for any other reason besides decorative purposes, does not help. And I'm not just saying that as the creator of the wreath lock. I'm saying it as, I don't want your stuff getting stolen. So here we go. First, we put these pipe cleaners. Then we're going to go ahead and place this is the base layer. So the base layer is the first layer of mesh. So I'm going to go ahead here and I do about 5 curls. Flip it over, and then I'm going to come to the other side, and you're really not going to be able to tell that one side has more or less curls than the other because it's still curled over. Okay. So what I'm going to do is make this a little nicer. Okay. I'm going to place each of these curls in the pipe cleaner, twist it. So this is going to be my base layer, okay? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want the crossbar that I'm going to put through the wreath lock to be centered. I want everything to be centered on the wreath lock, okay? There is actually a method to this madness, I promise. And so this wreath is going to be pretty thin enough that it should essentially function like a pancake or a flat wreath. So it should be able to go in a screen door or a security door if you want to do that. Hope everybody's having a good summer. Things have been a little crazy here in Texas the last few weeks, months. The weather gets crazy every once in a while. We had like the flooding in central Texas, and man, that was very heart-wrenching, and prayers to the families that were affected. You know, I'm so sorry for y'all's loss. Prayers for strength and healing for everything y'all are going through. I don't wish that on anyone, and I cannot imagine losing a child, and I just pray that God is giving him strength and peace during this time. It's rough, y'all. It's rough. I mean, I couldn't help but feel my heart break when it was happening. Alright, so we're going to do 6 ruffles on the bottom. You know what? I forgot to add my other... Yeah, we can still do it. We got time. I was going to do it the right way and I still didn't do it right. But it's okay. You know, you start planning these tutorials and you just kind of forget stuff, you know what I mean? But we're all human. Just do what we gotta do. It's gonna be a little harder when I add the pipe cleaners for the second layer, but essentially you just want to add all the pipe cleaners along the wreath frame when you're first starting out. But it's okay. I'll show you how it's done. We'll get through it. I apologize. I was trying to do it right the second time. Show you from scratch. And I ended up messing it up again. My apologies. That's what happens when you don't do a tutorial for a while. Okay. So the first layer is done, okay? So what I can do is go ahead and trim off these pipe cleaners. So what I do is I twist them enough now I'm going to snip them as close to where they're at as possible, because I don't want people getting poked by the pipe cleaner. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Oh, actually I'm gonna leave one crossbar pipe cleaner on. I'm gonna leave one. So y'all, this is how I do things for my technique and my hook. I mean, if you do them different, that's cool. I mean, as long as you come out with the same result in the end, that's all that matters. The whole thing is to be able to use the wreath lock. I mean, you want to be able to protect your wreath. I know there's a lot of people in the world that like wreaths and they buy wreaths, but they just don't feel secure hanging them up. And it could be because of where they live. It could be that they're in an apartment, townhouse, condo. I mean, anywhere, y'all. So I'm gonna do this here. So all I did was feed the pipe cleaner through. And all I'm gonna do here is put a little glue to make sure it stays, and I'm just gonna keep on going. But like I said, when you first start, you put 6 pipe cleaners on each of the crossbars, and then you're gonna put 6 pipe cleaners in between the space that is between the 2 crossbars. So it's gonna be 12 total. This is what I'm gonna do here. So this is the hard way, y'all, but it's still doable. So you just find the center point between the 2 crossbars, and then we're going to bring it up. And you can, if you feel more comfortable, put a little glue on each of the pieces of metal if you want to secure it like that. So I'm just gonna find the center point, make a loop, kind of make a loop. So you can go down like this into the wreath frame. And what I'm doing is I'm going down, I'm coming back up, and I'm doing it around the two bars in the center on the outsides of them, and I'm bringing them around there, and I'm making sure it's all the way up, and I'm making sure that the pipe cleaner is as even as possible. So there's different ways to do things, y'all. It's just how creative you want to be about it. But this is the same result as I normally do when I am creating my base. It's just a little harder like this because you have to go through the mesh. That's okay. So I'm finding my essentially halfway point. I'm going to go down all the way to where my bend is. I'm going to come up on the other side. You're still doing the same thing when you're doing it the way I normally do it. It's just the pipe cleaner is already in place. So, let's see here. But yeah, if y'all have any questions about the wreath lock or any comments, feel free to put them in the box where the comments are below, and I will obviously get back to you with a response as soon as I can. If you have any questions about how I'm making the wreath, feel free to let me know. We're fixing to go to step 2 in a minute. So I just wanted to show people an easier way to do things where you're using, my technique uses less mesh to create a wreath, and it's normally between 27 and 28 inches per strip of mesh, okay? So that ends up being, on this kind of wreath, 12 pieces of mesh for 12 pipe cleaners. Okay, it's all about 12. And try not to burn your fingers on the hot glue. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up a mesh off the floor. Okay, so this is layer number 2. Of the mesh. Okay, so remember I did leave that one pipe cleaner, which is my center, up and down center, okay? So the rest, I'm gonna go ahead and put my second layer. 5 or 6 ruffles, flip it over and gather. And sometimes you gotta fight with your mesh a little bit, and eventually you'll get the hang of it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. It's just a ruffle. Don't be too critical. It doesn't have to look perfect. Matter of fact, some wreaths look better when they're messy. I promise. Messy wreaths sometimes look better. So don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get it perfect. I mean, that's the whole thing with originality, right? No two wreaths look alike, and you want to separate yourself from everybody else. I mean, you want to do your own thing. You don't want to fall into the race of doing the same thing everybody else does. I mean, like, I created a little wreath called the studded wreath. I mean, it requires some machinery to make it. the stud setter and all that. I put the video out there. People watch it, cool. They want to do it, cool. It's like you're bedazzling a wreath. I mean, hey, you put it out there. If the catch is on, cool. If not, hey, you created your own wreath technique. I mean, those don't come along that often either, trust me. Like, for some reason, I feel like the wreath industry lags behind in a lot of technology. Like, there's more makers of wreaths than there are creators of wreath products. That's why I was so happy when the Wreath Lock came about, because I'm like, wow, I'm bringing something to a lot of people and helping them protect their wreaths. And that's just in 2,000 years essentially had never been done. And I'm not bragging, I'm just happy I can help people. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to keep people from stealing your stuff. I mean, if your stuff looks good, it's hanging on your door, it's catching people's attention, and it's the holidays, and so this one's gonna stay behind. I mean, the Wreath Lock is affordable and it's long lasting, and you can use it on one door, or you can use it on every door, inside, outside, home, business, wherever. But if y'all want to see more about the Wreath Lock and essentially how it works and everything, y'all can just go to YouTube or the internet and type in Wreath Lock, and there's multiple videos on it, its purpose, how it works, how to use it. So I mainly wanted to just come on here and well, make a wreath, one, because I haven't done one in a while, do a little tutorial, and two, show you firsthand how it works, because it can be a little confusing, especially it's new technology. Even though it's pretty simple technology, it's still new, and it's going to take time for people to get used to it and figure out how to use it. And but I mean, the payoff and how it protects your wreath investment, I can't overstate it enough. Like, if you like big wreaths, and you cannot lie, no, I'm just kidding. If you like wreaths, you want them on your doors, and you want them at home, you want them in your office, you want them everywhere, this is the thing to do. So yeah, that's my opinion. Okay, so this is essentially the wreath in general. Okay, so I have my point up here, and this is where my Wreath Lock is going to go eventually. So I'm going to flip it over so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bow here, right? And then I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to put my ribbon tails. So let me go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this. No, actually I'm not. Nope, we can do that. Sorry to confuse everybody. I'm going to get my bow. So used to doing things a different way. So this is the bow here. I went ahead and made it. So this is going to be like a basic, like, I think this is a fern, and I'm going to, I already have the bow made, and it's got a zip tie in the middle, okay? And if you want a tutorial for a bow like this, there are tutorials on my page. So what I'm going to do here is put the bow in, and I'm going to use the pipe cleaners to fasten the bow. Okay. And I'm going to take my cutters, wire cutters, I'm going to cut it. And what you want to do is push down on your, without poking yourself, Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. I can't think of the radio. It's distracting me. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna put my bow, and then obviously I'm gonna come back later, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and trim it down because I think it's a little long. So this is called a fishtail. So we're essentially bending the ribbon in half, and then we're gonna cut inwards towards the center of the bend in half. Okay, so we're just gonna eye it right now because I don't think I need that much. Of course, if you're short on ribbon, try not to waste it, but if you have plenty, like I never used this I'm gonna have to cut some more, but it's okay. Let's do 3 pieces of one design and 1 piece of the other. So I just gather them all. I'm gonna come back to my tie, and I'm gonna tie it in place. And you can make as many bows and stuff as you want, but I'm just doing this for instructional purposes to show you eventually how it's going to go on the wreath lock. You can spread them however you want, okay? Like I said, I'm just making a very simple one for now. The next one I'm gonna do 2 cream color and 1 fern, and then I'm gonna try and gather them again. So I'm just doing alternating patterns just to give it a little variety. Is everybody done with their back to school shopping? So my son is like 26 and I don't have to deal with that anymore. But I remember the days, y'all, like I used to hoard school supplies so that I didn't have to go out with everybody else and go through all that. I used to keep so many school supplies in my house so I didn't have to. I mean, even on tax-free weekend, nope. That's cool. Y'all want to offer that? But I'm going to stay as far away from that as possible because $8 on 100, $8 off of 100 or whatever is not worth me going out there and getting killed. Because people be going crazy during school shopping, and I ain't the one, y'all. Especially in my age right now, if I had to do it, I'd be losing my mind. Nope. But gotta give grace to the ones that gotta do it, because, man, I could see people jumping over counters trying to get stuff. And I'm just like, I don't have the patience to deal with that. But y'all be safe out there. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, Lordy. Alright, let me cut. Let me see. I'm gonna do 2 of the white. I love it when you're doing a tutorial and you start getting phone calls. I'm like, come on, man. Alright, let's see. Okay, we're almost done. Like I said, this one's just a very simple Deco Mesh, kind of pancake style wreath. Just to give you the basic idea of how to do your wreath if you want to use it with the wreath lock. You can also use the wreath lock on swags, and I'm fixing to tell you in a few minutes other ways you can do it. But you gotta stay till the end, y'all, or it's not fun if I can't get you to stay till the end. That's your beautiful bonus bean footage. So I'm gonna do 2 greens, and 1 green, and then we'll be done with the base. Might add a little something to it just to zhuzh it up a little bit. And y'all, this hot weather, you know, sweets melt in the heat. I don't know how much of this I can take, because this is, my skin is like screaming every time I'm going out in the heat. Like, what is going on? I cannot handle it. This heat is like Texas heat, the humidity. Like, this temperature in California will probably not be a big deal. As my son said, the weather there is like constant, and it's like in the mid 70s and low 80s and stuff like that. And no, baby, not here. Not in Texas, honey. It's hotter than the jalapenos in Texas. All right, so this is a sample wreath, and I think I don't know, maybe later. I've kept y'all holding on long enough. So this is it, and like I said, right here where I have the tie from earlier is where my crossbar is. So let me show you real quick. Please excuse my mess. So like I said, this is the wreath lock. So what you do is you're gonna flip it over, right, upside down. This is where the crossbar of your wreath on the back is gonna go in, okay? So I'm gonna do that. And then it sits in here, right? It's gonna sit in here. Once you place it, place the hook over the door, you cannot get the wreath off the door. So if you watch my other videos for the wreath lock, you're gonna see you cannot remove it. And so sitting like this, you see my bow is level, focal point where it's supposed to be, and everything is on point, right? So I'm using the center crossbar at the top of the wreath, and then I'm just filling in. So we got 2 bows here, 2 bows here, 1 bow here. Now on the other side is, I'm sorry, tails. And then on the other side of this one and only here is my focal point bow. So everything is like centered, on point. So that's why I showed you how to do it this way. So like I said, you start with the bottom row of crossbars, fill them in with the mesh, then do your second layer with the like smaller half size crossbars and put your pipe cleaners there, fill it in, and then, you know, just follow from the beginning like I showed you. Just place all the pipe cleaners on instead of going back like I did by accident. And so then you have your wreath lock on your wreath hook, and it's good to hang it on the door. If you have any other wreath that is centered on the crossbar at the top, you can obviously hang those also. But also, now that we're at the end, so this hook right now, the way it stands, can be used with wireframe wreaths. That's what its main purpose was for. But let me tell you, I am currently creating, first I'm creating 24-inch hooks. So this is 11 inches, and your wreath is going to sit at like the 9.5 or so inch mark. So this is for like 7-8 foot doors, okay? I'm creating 24-inch hooks for the taller doors, for like businesses or homes that have 8, 10, 12 foot plus doors, okay? So those will be available in the very near future, hopefully this week coming up. So I got a limited amount of those created. I think less than 50. So if you think you might want one for your business, especially businesses that want to hang wreaths on the doors, whether it's indoors or outdoors, you might want to go ahead and get your order in so I can get it sent to you, because once I get them in my possession, I'm going to post them on Etsy and have them ready to ship, okay? So that's number one. Number two is I am creating a supplemental part that goes with this hook. And the purpose of it is it will be able to allow you to use this hook with thicker framed wreaths that can't fit in between here and grapevine wreaths. It's a supplemental part that is also in process. It is made to go exclusively with this hook. No other hook, just this one. So once that comes out, I will be offering a bundle together, this hook with that piece. And I will also offer it for sale on its own. I will have everything posted and have it on Etsy eventually. But I also, third, have the wreath lock itself. I have it created with engraving. So if you want designs on your wreath lock, because this normally just comes in plain stainless steel, I have made an investment in equipment to be able to engrave steel. So if you happen to want your name or some crazy design on your wreath lock, you can reach out to me on Etsy and ask for that, and I can give you a price on whatever it is. Regular engraved, pre-made wreath locks are $39.99 normally. Like right now I'm running a sale. So if you would like one engraved, there are some already on Etsy that are engraved. They look pretty cool. So feel free to take advantage of the sale that's going on right now. Other than that, I thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, so when the new products and developments come out and I do put them on YouTube, it will let you know that it is on for you to see. And also, if you could please share the wreath lock with your friends and family, I would really appreciate it. If you're a wreath maker and you're interested in possibly wholesale or licensing opportunities, feel free to reach out to me on the wreathmeshine.com. There is a drop down for contact me or contact us, and you can send me a message through there. Yeah, I'm looking at a lot of different opportunities for getting this out into the world, y'all. It is patent pending. There is IP on it, so that part's covered. So in case you anyone thought about knocking it off, yeah, I'm not about that. But if you're interested in it, please before the holidays start ramping up, please get yours so I can get it to you in time before the rush, because I hate worrying that someone's stuff's gonna get lost in the mail and stuff like that. Right now is like the perfect time to get it because the mail is not that heavy. But you know, I'm sure people are gonna want it for their Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas wreaths. So we want to protect them because we invest in our products, we invest in wreaths, and we want to protect what we invest our money in. Like, we protect our home, we protect our cars. Hey, if we can protect a wreath and we spend money on it, why not? So thank y'all for watching. Have a blessed weekend, and I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good one. Bye.